this guild has doxed a man over World of Warcraft, which might not have been the worst thing they ever done.
Toxic guild in World of Warcraft is desperately lashing out, maybe for the final time. They're griefing raids non-stop by putting
For the
plants in
final
groups,
time, sure.
and they're going into Discords and spamming the N-word more than they ever have.
Bro, what a bunch of toddlers. Holy crap. I mean, listen, if you're 14 and you're doing this, it's hella cringe, but I can somewhat understand. These people are 30 to 40-year-old balding dudes. That's the embarrassing part. Like, if they were in their teens, I would have been like, okay. Like, whatever. But you know, by however they sound, that they are 40. You know that. You know that they haven't been touched by a female since forever. Since their conception. You just absolutely know that.
I don't know where he is. They are really trying to get people banned on Twitch and YouTube and demoralize them as much as humanly possible. But while they're projecting strength, including holding an in-game show of force yesterday where they all stood in a circle and chanted slogans, the reality is that their leader, Poppy Putin, was absolutely nowhere to be found. Is it because he's banned, or because he's waiting on a private server for everything to blow over?
Because he roached out. He thought he would never be found. Like, these people can only operate within a niche, right? They can only operate in World of Warcraft PvP fringes, and they kind of use their, ginormous guilds to obfuscate what they're doing. But since Nightmane absolutely just clapped their cheeks and exposed them to everyone, they got clowned upon because now they don't have the power. You took that power from them, and their entire apparatus slowly started to fall. Well, not slowly, actually really, really fast, started to fall apart. And the reason is, these people, they don't care about each other. It's to each their own. They're not a true guild. They're a guild that their values are based on toxicity and cannibalizing on other players. And the moment they don't have other players to cannibalize because everyone were united against them, they started cannibalizing on one another. And that's when the entire guild started falling apart. Yeah, you roached, yeah. Average is 40. I bet if you collectively take every single member in this guild, they can probably make one wig.
He's hiding away. Because here's the thing. The dude who leads the most toxic guild in World of Warcraft,
the amount of hair follicles is like 3 per person.
He's supposedly a master tactician and a world-class world PvPer.
You just called him a master tactician. Well, he did say supposedly, but dog, like, let's not continue the self-aggrandizement of this absolute roach. This man is nobody. Nobody cares about him. He flew way too close to the sun, and the moment he got found out, he roached out. Classic move. Classic maneuver. I remember him saying, like, this Poppy Putin guy, I'm controlling the narrative. I'm deciding what's going to happen next. And you know that person had absolutely no friends growing up, and he had zero control over his life whatsoever. That's why he was acting this way. Because the little bit of control he had was in a video game, and it gave it so much importance he forgot real life existed.
But unfortunately, in the last couple weeks, that has really crumbled as an image. It probably all started with Zico, who actually looked into the skill of the players in Red Empire, and he realized they're actually not super high rated in PvP. Which, okay, that's fair. I'm not throwing stones
What a surprise.
there. But it turns out their leader, Poppy Putin, has a way below 50% win rate in PvP, which is kind of hilarious. But even though Poppy Putin himself would probably be low...
So are you telling me that the most toxic person in World of Warcraft was throwing stones from glass houses? That's crazy. Unbelievable, one might say.
To claim that he's actually bad at arenas, the fact is that he definitely...
He can boss around people at McDonald's? Man, I bet he's flipping some mean burgers now.
I would consider himself more of a world PvPer. Or is that just a carefully constructed image? Because one of his very best clips, where he 1v3s his biggest rival Big P PvP, it turns out it was completely fake. Poppy Putin on a death knight, absolutely destroying his competition. He's 1v3, he makes them look like complete idiots, and he used it for propaganda in his guild. He would send it to all his guildies, and he would say, yo, we are way better than Big P PvP.
A guy named Poppy Putin used propaganda. Yeah. Man, this story just keeps on writing itself.
Look at what I did. But it turned out he was using the public test realm to stage this with his officer. When you watch the clip, you can see these people are barely playing the game. and one of them is actually a gladiator. There is zero chance he would be playing this way.
What do I do now? Do I glaive him? Let me just RP walk in the middle of it. It's fine. Yeah.
It's actually
not faked whatsoever.
Fighting somebody. But the fact that this was fake, and that would be probably embarrassing to a lot of people, does not stop Poppy Putin or Red Empire. They just send it around anyways and try to make their rivals look as bad as humanly possible. That leads us to the biggest contradiction with World of Warcraft's most toxic guild. PvP guilds over the years have found their success in maybe being incredibly creative, like SEAL Team 6. Some PvPers have camped boats for 18 hours a day. I mean, that's a pretty good way to get some reputation. But Red Empire, they're just different, because their biggest strength isn't actually their PvP. Sure, they have clips of them with arcane explosion running down a hallway and killing some people, but that really is the limit of what they do. Their actual biggest strength, and their biggest claim to fame, is not their PvP, but their ability to weaponize videos and media and discords. Keep in mind, they control the
Discord PvP.
Largest server Discord for the PvP server Nightslayer, to convince new players to spam and harass guilds they don't like, or spam that a player like Nightman is racist and hurt his reputation. Red Empire, they will immediately claim they are being unfairly targeted.
Yeah, and it's so funny that not only they failed miserably at hurting Nightmane's reputation, they actively supported him. Because this man, since the entire ordeal blew up, he went 5k subs. So they gave him money, they gave him views, and they gave him a long-lasting community. Probably. So not only they did not manage to put a dent in him, they actively built him a castle. Good job. Great job.
That there are a lot of other guilds out there
do
doing similar things as they are, like Big P PvP. They accuse that guild of also doxing as well, and taking things outside the game whenever they can. But with possibly a few exceptions here and there, it really does seem like Red Empire is the massive outlier for PvP guilds. Nobody else is trying to do what Red Empire does, and ultimately that is what makes them a real villain. Maybe I'm just pissed off because they have been griefing me non-stop lately and ruining my raids, but I think they would be too happy with the villain tag. What would really piss them off would be to provide irrefutable proof that they aren't very successful in world PvP, which is actually true. That's the reason they are forced to do things outside the game. That's the reason they do what they do. The reality is that Red Empire, they're kind of posers. They claim that they're all about world PvP, but they're really kind of half-assing it. Take Red Ridge guy. This dude, for 2 years, he has grief lobies and high levels alike in Red Ridge. He sits in the mountains, completely untargetable by everybody, and he kills player after player. He can kill them in the inns while they're questing, literally anywhere, with no recourse at all.
But he's keeping it in the PvP server. He never go outside of it, and that's why people have respect for him.
Would absolutely suck to deal with while you're questing, and I'm sure a lot of you would say this is why I don't play on a PvP server.
Yeah.
The reality is that once you have that bad experience with this dude one time in Red Ridge, or maybe a couple times, it's just kind of over. He's not going to be calling your workplace and getting you fired. That's the difference. He's having a bigger impact in-game, and he doesn't take things out of the game. Red Empire, they just lack the creativity, they lack the skill perhaps, and they just take things out of the game every time. Take Flickster, who for years in Classic WoW has done everything he can to grief and kill players. He'll kite dragons or demons or anything he can find into Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and he really indiscriminately kills as many people as he possibly can. He even figured out that the demon from the Scepter of the Shifting Sands quest is way stronger than all the other demons, and sometimes he'll kite that in and just kill hundreds of people. But then he doesn't go on Discord and take screenshots of all the dead players. He doesn't spam the Discords with N-words and try to get people banned. Is he making some people's game experience worse? Maybe, sure. But he's keeping it in the game. He's being creative with
base Giga Chad. Absolutely base Giga Chad. That's what PvP servers are for. If you don't want that, don't play PvP. If you don't want the smoke, don't get into the kitchen. It's that simple. Yeah, why is the background of his dude is the same as Zaryu, or am I tripping? They're brothers and they're actually taking turns streaming. Still kind of crazy. What is that guy's deal? Too much time on his hands and just delusions of grandeur.
And it doesn't devolve into doxing and all this toxic stuff. Again, maybe I'm just getting salty because they griefed me nonstop for the last day and actually caused my Gruul to disband, which, basically wasted my friend Simon Ice's time and 24 other people, really.
Oh, they ganked
Maybe
them?
my favorite story about why Red Empire just kind of sucks at this is that they recently tried to grief the hardcore race-locked project. Basically, all these different communities came together to try to do a Tauren-only Molten Core, or Dwarf-only Molten Core, which actually just got completed, which was pretty cool to watch. But basically, Red Empire joined this event, and their intention was to grief and harass anybody in the event. They would join
Dwarf only molten core. I can imagine you go into the raid, it's like, everyone, get in here! Ah, fuck. You guys are too young for that reference. Damn. I need to get, like, I don't know if I need, like, a younger crowd of people, or I need, like, old and bold. Like, I'm very confused. Because my content is clearly for, like, above the age of 25. I can see that on my YouTube metrics as well. But at the same time, are you guys gonna stay alive until Classic Plus happens? I got it. Thank you.
5-man dungeon.
We got to heal the wounds. Class.
Groups in the Discord. If you've ever been in a hardcore project, there's usually a bunch of open Discords where people can join. Imagine that every single one of those channels, randomly people are coming in and saying the N-word and...
Never put open voice channel on Discord. Are you nuts? That's actually on you. Like, quite literally never do that. Literally never do that. It's the worst thing you can have happen to you on stream. Why would you ever do that?
Getting people banned. It immediately kills the community vibe. It just kind of sucks. But also Red Empire would match the names of the main tank in the group, and then they would DM like the mages and the priests and stuff, and have them try to pull more mobs. They did successfully cause a few low-level dungeon wipes doing that, but it is kind of funny that they had to rely on out-of-the-game things despite being in the
It's so petty. Why are you going to snipe people in dungeons? Raids is one thing. Like, dungeons? Who cares, dog? It's so crazy. Their entire structure of, like, functioning and maintaining their guild solidarity is built upon just making other people's lives as miserable as possible at every single second. It was never about PvP. It was about domination and humiliation of the other side. That's just crazy to me. Absolutely barbaric.
Project. None of the
and
Red
not in a
Empire
good
players
way.
were able to get high enough level to actually grief anything serious. I'm sure they had a vision of one of their raid members being the next Tiny Violin, which you might remember is when this dude took one of the 4 horsemen mobs and kited it into the other mobs and killed like 30 plus hardcore players. That basically changed hardcore forever because all of a sudden you had to look out for griefers in every single raid. Even recently, there was somebody who replicated the Tiny Violin grief. They tried to run in on Cthulhu and kill everybody with the I-beam. But what people don't realize about a grief like that is it actually requires you being semi-competent at the game. Sure, hitting 60 in hardcore is not an easy feat.
That's a problem.
Way too many times trying to do it. But it is kind of funny that they have to resort to out-of-the-game tactics in every single version of the game. The reason that Red Empire resorts to Discord PvP, which is the term they coined, it's the one thing they're actually good at. While they're gathering in Orgrimmar to flaunt the fact that they're still intact and completely ignored by Blizzard, the reality is that it's just kind of sad because it's not the show-up force they were hoping it would be. People finally are seeing that they really didn't accomplish much in the game in the first place. The Discord PvP is scary and annoying and pisses people off, but other than that, what really are they as a guild? To get into a pub...
Bunch of nobodies trying to play gods. Very shameful. Very sad and pathetic. But you know what's the good part? We get a good chuckle out of it.
Group in 2026 as Red Empire, you have to literally drop your guild tag. People don't want you in their groups. Meanwhile, their control over the Nightslayer Discord has really taken a hit. It is really nice to see that player reputation, it still matters in the game. In a world where maybe you think ninja looters aren't getting punished or griefers aren't getting punished, the reality is that as players, we still really can make an impact. It really does seem like the entire population understands one thing. Red Empire is only good at Discord PvP. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe for the...
Absolutely. Damn, that was a very good video, but he's absolutely right. They're only good in Discord PvP. They're only good at pretending they're doing something, and apparently whenever they do that, like, it's all fake. It's all fake. He had to fake PvP status to look supreme. Bro couldn't even kill 1v1 a person. He couldn't even do that. Like, I remember watching all the snipe montage of people, like, actively going after Pappy Putin. He couldn't even defend himself. Like, it was pathetic. Bro, he got hard. Inside of Orgrimmar, too. Like, he was absolutely bamboozled. But, yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get when you fly too close to the sun. You think you're good at a game, but you know that you're an absolute nobody.